Hello folks, this is a video about Redkit and editing meshes. I'm making this video because somebody asked me, so it's for someone in particular, but I might as well make it universal and talk about the whole process, how to get started and how to actually do it. And I've got the screen in front of me so I can show you. I've still got what I can do. So um, I guess this video might be helpful for those of you who really want to give it a go, but you might feel overwhelmed by just figuring it all out. Yeah, it was quite windy, it was quite annoying to do that. So if this video helps you, skip that or just copy paste what I do, just so you can get started. There's no script to this video, as you can see. I'm mumbling. This is an improvisation. This is my first attempt at this video, so I might go back and forth, but hopefully the editing saves us if there's some annoying parts to this video where I just pause for a long time. Alright, let's get into it now. You can see this is The Witcher 3 Redkit. If you don't already know what this is GOG, right? This is a platform, so this is where I play The Witcher 3, because I don't play The Witcher 3 on Steam, right? I play it here through GOG, and it's through GOG that I got the Redkit, but I think you can get it from Steam as well. The Red devs, Project Red, they promise. I mean, you get the Redkit as long as you own the game. This is what I'm trying to say. So it's on their website. You can download it from there, or like I said, from Steam. So you get that, you download it, and here's the first important step: you have to make sure you've got enough disk space, right? So this folder right here, this is the actual program, right? So what I want to show here is how much it weighs, right? That's 68 gigs just for the program itself. And then, right then, so this folder, I created that folder, okay? So what's in here is the folder depot, which is absolutely essential for the Redkit to work. Oh, and just a little pause here. I'm just going to go to the web here on YouTube. Right, here's the official The Witcher page on YouTube. These are tutorials for how to use the Redkit, right? So if you're just getting started, what you really want to watch is probably video number 0, video number 1, and video number 2. Definitely you want to see managing files, even though I'll show you the steps so you don't have to learn all that, but it's still good to see, right? So don't worry about animation, don't worry about 3, 4, 5 and the rest of it. You can watch that later on when you get advanced, but you want to watch these 3 videos, right? So you install Redkit, and right, so again, this folder, the program, right, that's going to cost you 68. But then you're going to want to install this depot. This is when you break down the game, um, whose files you're going to use for editing. And this folder weighs a lot too, so I've got it ready here. And that's another 56 gigs or 50 gigs at the least. Why? Because, well, this second folder, I created this, okay? So called projects. This is not going to be there when you install your program, but this is where I organize my files. So I've got this little file called folder blender back to Redkit, exported meshes, and projects. Projects is the one that's going to be generated automatically, so there's no escaping this. And before I forget, once you decide where this is going to be, you don't move that, okay? You don't cut it, you don't paste it somewhere else, because I did that and I lost all of my work in progress. And then I was like, oh shit, what did I do? And then I moved it back to where it was, and magically the projects came back. So be careful where you want to install all this, because obviously, I mean, if I go to my PC, look at that, I've got 13 gigs left. It's just depressing. Like, I need to install some more disk space, and Redkit is just, right, I'm going back in. So, what you're going to see on YouTube here is basically how to install this. So I'm not going to go over that, right? I've already got it installed. I never use this folder. Obviously, this is the program itself. It's this folder I use, and this is, I called it Redkit Office. You're gonna call it something else, right? You're just gonna choose your own folder. But the depot is non-negotiable, and this folder called Projects, that's non-negotiable either. And these are the actual works in progress or stuff that I haven't deleted yet. And as you can see, you can call it whatever you want, but you don't. Once you create it, you don't rename that, okay? So that stays like that forever until you delete it, because you no longer need it. So, right, like I said, it's one big improvisation. Where do I go from here? All right, so what do you need to get started? Well, you're gonna need this program. See it here? Blender 4.0, right? So I had to check that, and I'm glad that it says 4.0 because I wasn't sure which one it was. You want this one, 4.0, because once you go to the website to download Blender, which is free, by the way, you don't have to pay for any of this, you can see that what it's prompting you to download is 4.2. That's not what you want, okay? We're going to have to use this add-on. Now I'm introducing you to the third thing you need. Right, for now, which is the thing you need is this FBX import add-on for Blender. And obviously there's instructions here for how you install this and what you do. And if you're wondering why I'm even talking about this, is because, like, you download the Redkit and you'd think that it just works, right? Oh, shit, I just remembered something else. I remember there was an issue with Redkit when I was installing it. It wouldn't install till the end. And like everyone on the internet was moaning about it. It's like, what the hell, CDPR? Like, you just released it and it's already bugged, kind of thing. And I remember at the time, I had to make sure that it's installed directly onto the drive, right? So what I tried to do at the time was to, like, install this folder, right? The program. I tried to install it inside other folders, and it wouldn't work. So the trick was to install it directly onto C drive, right, or some other drive, just directly onto the drive. No more folders. Like this. That's got to be clean, right? It's got to be out in the open on top, right? Because I think I tried to install it somewhere inside program files. I don't know, right? So I'm putting that out there. So I don't know if they fixed it yet, but make sure you right now this FBX add-on is because like Redkit will not export meshes correctly onto Blender. And we absolutely need that, right? We're going to be editing stuff. We want to change Geralt's armor, don't we? So, of course, we're going to need Blender, and we want to make sure it works. However, Bjorn on Nexus has made this, well, he updated this to what was then the latest version, which was 4.0. And so that's why I'm talking about this. Don't download 4.2. What you have to do is, and I don't remember what that was, but on this page here, you have to find the old versions. I'm just gonna give it a go now. If it takes too long, I'll just edit that out. So, oh, there you go. I found it. So when you press on download up there, it's, look at that. Looking for previous versions. Obviously, you press on this, and you press on download any Blender, and on this page you're going to look for this one, 4.0. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to download. Well, oh right, so you further need to like check which one it is. I don't bloody remember. I guess 4.0.1. I don't remember, but I remember that this guy talked about this. Oh, I haven't told you about this guy yet. So on YouTube, Last Ghost Gaming has these videos about using Redkit. So you don't have to just rely on my video today. You can watch these definitely, and he's not like me just going back and forth. He's actually got an organized video. So I've watched these videos a lot, and they definitely helped. But I think in one of his videos he talked about downloading which version, but you definitely want 4.0. I don't remember. You might have to go with. It looks like you might have to take this one, right? MSI. I don't remember what that was. I mean, I haven't dealt with this in a long time, damn it. If I were to check my uh, downloads, I don't remember which one it was. Like Blender Foundation, Blender 4.0. Oh, that's the actual program. Well, okay, that's what it looks like. And you install that. Sorry guys, I'm not really being very helpful here, but you install that and you need this, and then with the FBX you obviously go to files, you download which FBX add-on for Blender 4.0, you download this and you follow the instructions, which is a basic copy paste replace function. Yeah, drop the folder. You're gonna have to deal with this, right? I'm telling you what you need to do, but I'm not gonna tutorialize the whole thing, not because I don't want to, it's just because I really want to make this quick and I'm still in the introduction. All right, so those are the three things you need: Redkit, Blender, and the FBX add-on. Once you've got that, which is no small thing, that's going to take you a little bit, and I hope your PC's got enough power on it. I'm talking about RAM, I'm talking about disk space and whatnot. Because I've had instances where my PC crashed. It's not like the best rig, but it's crashed when I've used both Blender and Redkit at the same time. Right, shall we get into it? Once you're set, this is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna go to the program, and it doesn't matter whether that's through GOG or Steam. You're gonna put it up, and Jesus, that takes a while, doesn't it? Okay, there you go. So this bloody thing is so buggy sometimes. Oh, so when it comes to the steps, what you do here, again, make sure you watch this guy's videos, or I don't remember if I told you about. I did. I definitely told you about it. When you watch these three videos, right, they're gonna tell you how to install all that. Right, so you're gonna know what this is. But these are my open projects. I'm thinking, like, what what should I use to demonstrate stuff to you? These are stuff that I've called these names, I think. Cat Grandmaster Belt plus changes. Mod Griffin fashion. Like, I guess that's not a bad place to start. Or I'm gonna open this up to show you stuff. I'm not gonna give you a big tutorial on how to use Redkit when it comes to its entire functionality. I'm just gonna try and focus on meshes for now, okay? So it's compiling scripts, right? It's basically loading the program. You wouldn't believe how long it takes to install this thing and just create the depot and get yourself started. I mean, you are basically using the original program for creating The Witcher 3. But I don't know if it's easier on WovenKit. Like I said, I've never used it. But I've got this eerie feeling that it's somehow easier to use WovenKit, but I guess Redkit has been praised. And did I mention that I'm a complete noob when it comes to this? What I'm showing you today is what's worked for me so far. Alright, so don't worry about this whole panel. Like I said, if you're dedicated, you're going to watch a couple of videos on YouTube and you're going to figure it out. But what you care about for now is, right, this button that says Asset Browser, right? That's just so essential. And it's just such a small button. So when I press this, it's just going to open a new window. We're inside the the asset browser, which is the files, right? So how you navigate this is something you can figure out, but when you watch those YouTube videos and when you see what I do now, you'll get it. So I've created a few bookmarks. That's stuff I always go back to. And these are little windows. It's just like how, like a browser would work. I mean, it's literally called an asset browser. So I just opened the project Griffin Fashion, which is what I call my project on editing the Griffin Witcher set. But it doesn't matter what I've called it. I can edit any one of these files whenever I want to. So what would be a good example? Okay, so something I need to explain now is, I mean, I'm on the wall where I find the what would you call it? The Manticore armor, because this is just the last thing I've been working with, and you can see these locks. That just means that the file is now unadulterated. It's like a virgin file. This is the original file, I should have said. If I want to edit something, and let's just pay attention to what the title is. You're gonna get used to this. Trust me. Like, it might look like a little bit of a script now, but yeah, man, that's just something you're gonna learn to. You're gonna memorize. You're gonna, like, that's gonna be something in your brain the whole time. Like, exactly T 01MG. Like, Jesus. What you need to pay attention to right now, though, is how it says meshes point W2 end. So W2 end means entity file. So this is what you want to make sure looks good when you're done with the whole thing. So you can literally open this up, double clicking it. And how you navigate this, again, you're going to see on the YouTube tutorials, so I'm not going to spend time on this right now. I'm just going to try and demonstrate how, let's say, for example, you wanted to get to remove the potion belt from the Manticore armor. Because we're inside the entity file, and I highlight this is not the mesh file, this is the entity file, which means inside this entity file there are other meshes, right? So if I press literally on the potion belt with my left mouse button, it highlights what I touched just now, and it's this mesh. And just to demonstrate, if I go back to the asset browser, right, this is, and I will open this up. This is literally, this file is inside the entity, right? This is the same thing. And I can open this up as well, right? I can check this out like that and make sure it's good, especially the textures, which are here. It's such a nightmare working with textures, at least for me. I still haven't really understood how this works, but what I was trying to say is that this is a mesh, right? The title ends on point W2 mesh, right? And this mesh is to be found inside the entity file. So let's say I didn't want this to be there. Like, I'm not gonna go and delete this file, right? I'm not gonna delete files from the original depot. What I'm just gonna do is I'm going to, well, I'm just gonna press delete on my keyboard. Sure to delete selection? Yeah, that's it. It's gone. Yeah, there's a mark as to where the potion belt was, but anyway, this is just an example. I'm just showing you stuff. And because I deleted the potion belt, I no longer need this. You might be wondering what the hell this is. Well, this is essentially, it's like a stabilizer. I'm so making this up, but it's like a stabilizer for making sure the potion belt sticks to the body. And I can delete that as well. I mean, I no longer need this. But look now, if I press save, right, this is going to pop up and it's going to say, oh, you didn't check out the file. And you might be wondering what the hell is checkout, which is basically telling Redkit we want to edit a file. And because I just press save and it's saying, do you want to check out it first? Or whatever, I'm just going to press yes. And now we can consider this entity file saved. It's no longer going to display the potion belt. So I can close this now. And notice how this has turned to a green tick. That just means that it's an edited file. Everything else has this little lock. The lock doesn't mean we're not allowed to edit files. It just means that it's in its original form. And let's say I totally messed it up, right? I regret what I did. How do I get it back? Well, we press right click and we choose revert. They're going to show you this on YouTube as well, but you press revert. Discard your changes to the selected objects, yes. And we've just returned the original file. And once I open this up, the potion belt is back on there. Right, there's more, there's definitely more to talk about, but I want to show you how it works with Blender. Because, like, I've got to end this video. I feel like I've been talking for half an hour now. Like, what would be a good example? So, I remember I wanted to do something about that Griffin armor, so let's go over there. Oh yeah, and this is a bit of a nightmare, but again, YouTube is going to show you all that, the tutorials on The Witcher, so yeah, you're going to have to deal with this, man, like just finding the right files, but that's why I've created these bookmarks. So if I go to, I don't need this on the left hand side, if I go to like, fucking Armor Griffin, right, because I wanted to change something about this, and you can see I've already been doing something to these files, but like check this out, right? So I don't know if you remember what so level 3, what would that be? Level 3 would be, I've forgotten now. Not mastercrafted, because that's level 4, so that would be superior, right? So I don't know if you remember that superior used to have these shields, right? So these shields all over the waist. I think it did. I've effectively removed them. Now I'll close this and I'll open something that I haven't edited yet. And I want to point your attention to the following. There are two files here, and you might be wondering what? Well, they're different. Do you notice how the one highlighted right now has got its arms cut off? This is the, what have I got open here? Oh yeah, this is the mesh file right now. That's not the entity. This is the mesh file, and I'm gonna need to definitely like explain something here. But first of all, look how these arms are cut off. This is because of the gloves, right? So when you put your gloves on inside the game, when you're playing the game and you put your gloves on, the game loads this mesh with the cut off arms, right? Because it needs to, well, because there's gloves on, so you don't need the rest of the hand. And when you remove the gloves, what the game does is it loads this mesh here. So it loads the mesh with the hands. And that is why whenever you go ahead and try and edit some armor, because we all know this is what you want to do on Redkit, right? Well, this is what I wanted to do. I always wanted to change Geralt's armor in some way or another. So whenever you do a change on the armor, you have to edit both files, which basically means you're doing double the amount of work. You might, because instinctively you want to do something once and be done with it, right? But no, when you do it once, you have to do it a second time to the other mesh, because I think you get it. So these are the two meshes. They're not the entities, but that's fine because we definitely need to edit the meshes when we're removing. Oh yeah, I didn't explain. What I'll do is I'll remove these shields now inside Blender. This is what I wanted to show you. So let's say, I hate these shields. I want them gone. I might even want to remove, just for, I might even want to remove these spikes. I don't. I like them, but I'll show you how you get to do that. Maybe I wanted to remove these belts. I can remove shit like that. Well, not always successfully, because, like I said, I'm a noob modder. But let me show you. The whole purpose of this video was to show somebody how you export these meshes into FBX files. The FBX file is the one that you need for Blender, right? Because if you just throw a file into Blender, it's not going to read it. You need to transform the file. Goodness gracious! Now this is something important. You want to be organized. Well, you want to be organized if you're going to be doing a lot of things. But trust me, very easily, very quickly, you end up doing a lot of things. You're working with a lot of files, and I pray that I'll be able to show you what I mean by that. But just for now. So once you go over to where you've decided you're going to be exporting your meshes, When I started with a folder for stuff that I've exported from Redkit, and then when I was done inside Blender and I thought that I was good and I wanted to, install the mod, I would I would export from Blender back to my computer, and I would use this second folder. This is just what I decided. And look at that. There's just so many damn files. And do you think I remember what they all mean? I don't, even though I was trying to be like clever about how I was titling them. This is all garbage. Like I should probably delete all that. But when I was in the heat of working with my mods, like all of this was actually relevant and I could remember each and one of these. But you definitely want to be organized. Like you create as many folders as you can think of and put stuff in order, and don't delete prematurely because you never know when you're going to have to go back to a file that you thought was going to be useless. So I go back to my asset browser, and what I'll do is I'll check out. I don't really have to, but I guess you can observe some kind of order as to your steps. So I'll check out this, and it will turn to a green thing. And like I said, I'll need to export both of these, but let's start with this for now. So what I do is right click. Well, I will go to come on, man. Export asset, and when I do that, little tip. I'll give you a little tip now. Make sure you do not, right now in this window, you do not press right mouse button. Why would you even do that? Well, because I always instinctively want to create a new folder once I'm inside this window. Yeah, the whole Redkit just crashes when I do that. Yeah, so don't do that. Right, just find a place where you're gonna want to export your FBX. Let's say that you're just gonna use your desktop, right? Let's just do that, and I'm just gonna export it over here. Well, no, for the sake of recording this video, I'm not gonna do it on my desktop. I guess I'll just go to, back to where I was originally gonna do it. Projects, exported meshes, Griffin, I'm so tempted to create a folder right now, but I'm not gonna do that because Redkit will crash. So what I'll do is I will go physically to the actual folder and I'll create a folder here. So I'll do I already know that this is about the Griffin because I'm inside folder Griffin, so I'll just call this T4 um, long sleeve. Yeah, because then we'll have a short sleeve as well. I'm sure this is what I was exporting, right? Long sleeve, that's it. So T4 long sleeve, open, save. This has now been exported. What does it look like when you go over there? It's actually two files. This, I believe, yeah, I think this is the mesh which has been transformed to an FBX. So whenever you go export asset, it automatically transforms the file to an FBX. The second file is the textures, right? So when I send this over to Blender, it will load the textures. This is, for the time being, useless information, but just so you're not wondering what this second file is. But this is the actual FBX. Now, I'll boot up my Blender, and this is a whole new world of stuff to talk about. But this video is long enough, so I'm not going to tell you about the steps of using Blender now. Again, so this guy talks a little bit about how to use Blender, but you know what to do. You're just gonna do Blender basics, right? And you're gonna watch a little video. You're probably gonna watch where's the donut guy? Blender Guru. You're probably gonna watch this video. It doesn't matter as long as you learn the the keyboard shortcuts. So you're doing stuff quickly, right? You very quickly you're gonna create a habit as to how you're moving around Blender. And trust me, like this, it's complicated enough. If this is your first time doing this, Jesus, I mean, this is just, it's so full of features. But for now, I'll click away from this and I'll delete this. Again, I'm not really going to be explaining to you how to use Blender, but what I'm showing you right now is how I'm going to file and I'm going for import, right? I'm importing the FBX that I exported from Redkit, right? So now I'm coming down here to FBX, right? And this is what I mean when I say you want to be organized. You want to know exactly where you're going, which folder contains what. Exported meshes, Griffin, T4, long sleeve. Right, it's only showing me one. And that's it. Import FBX. Give it a little bit of a loading time. And, oh god, do I even remember how to use this? Oh shit. Right, so what was I going to do? I was going to remove these shields. Again, I'm just going to... Damn it. Like, even I don't... Like, I don't... Ah, shit. So... This is definitely the mesh, right? Why do I... Jesus, finally, right? So I choose mesh and it's highlighted it. And I'll press tab to edit. And I want to remove the shields, right? So I'll change my cursor and I'll start highlighting shit like this. It's better to, I don't, how did that used to, I've forgotten. Right, so, right, so this is vertices, right? I can choose vertices and delete vertices, Control Z, or I can just go and delete faces. Now, because I'm deleting the whole shield, I definitely know that, I'm not going to go around and, well, it's quite satisfying to do, but what I can do is Control L, and it will choose the whole thing. Now, you might notice it hasn't highlighted these, so what I'll do is Shift, I'm holding Shift, and I'm pressing these as well, and now Control L to make sure the whole thing's been captured. Right, but now on the back side, and you start learning this through the process, but I'm showing you the steps. The back hasn't been highlighted either. So again, Shift, because if I don't press Shift, it's just going to deselect these fuckers. So Control Z, and now the back is highlighted. Control L, and I've got this as well. Now, if I Alt Z, I can see in this mode. But whatever, I don't need this right now. So here's the big, this is the drum roll. Delete faces, gone. The bastard is gone. We're deleting these as well. And yeah, that's what it looks like now. Same thing here. Bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Control L. There you go, the whole thing's been captured. Delete faces, gone. Oh, shit. Crashed. Did it crash? On. Yes, it didn't crash. So now, this thing, I mean, oh, goodness. If I... Jesus, I mean, sometimes... Oh, God. Come on, you... G to move it a little bit. Yeah. Come on. Come on. There you go. Right, so I've done my edits. This wasn't really important, how you use... Well, it obviously is important how you use Blender, but I just wanted to show you that, let's say for the sake of this, I'm done. Even though I said that I might want to remove these spikes, well, there you go, highlighting a little bit. Control L, so I highlight the whole spike thing. This, and this. Control L, there you go. Delete faces. There you go. Spikes are gone. And now I'm done. So I definitely want to talk about this now. I'm done with my edits. What's my next step? Well, you make sure everything is how you want it. But now that I'm done, File, Export FBX.
you organize this how you want. You go to where you wanted to export stuff and you give it a title, and this is going to be Griffin or something like Griffin T4 long sleeve, no shields, right? X shields, X spikes, whatever helps you remember which file was what. Done. Export FBX. Now, I'll close Blender for now because I don't want Redkit to crash. Oh yeah, you make sure you save this, right? I'm not going to save it now, but you want to save the project because chances are you're going to have to come back to this because you're going to find something inside the game, most likely, that you don't like. And you're going to be like, oh, damn, right? And you close the game, you delete the mod that you've just installed, you go back to Redkit or to Blender, and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't save the project. Well, you saved the file, at the very least, but you might want to save the project. So, that's going to create a separate Blender file that when you open that file, it's going to bring you directly back to the version that you were editing. But for the time being, I don't need that, so I'm not going to save this. I've already exported my mesh. Now, you go back to Blender, and what you want to do is replace this original file that still has the shields, has the spikes. You press on it, or you press somewhere in the empty space, it doesn't matter, but you go to import mesh, and you find the bloody file. Expect, where was it? Griffin T4 long sleeve X shields X spikes. Open. Now, you're going to see this on YouTube as well, but you want to make sure that now you change the title to exactly how it's written in the asset browser. So in this case, it's T lower, I don't remember what you call that in English, but T lower 04 lower MG double low Griffin low LVL4, and you do not type mesh, right? You don't do that. So you stop here, LVL4, before the dot. You stop before the dot. Okay, all. Yes, we want to overwrite it. If you hadn't checked out this, there would have been a second pop-up saying, do you want to check it out? And you would press yes. But because I already did that step, it didn't ask me, right? And to this, you press cancel. I've just replaced the file to what I want it to look like. Done. Now, in order for this to make sense inside the... Oh, shit, look at that. The spikes have left a fucking stain on the... whatever. But this is what I wanted it to look like, right? I'm doing a last check, and I don't even need to save this. It's basically already been saved. The next step is to do exactly the same thing to this, right? I'm not going to show you now, but obviously you would export asset, you would open Blender, you would import the FBX, this thing, and you would edit it, you would export it back to FBX, and then you would import it inside here. I think I've spent enough time on this video. And the rest is basically just you would close the asset browser, and you would come back to this main thing, and you would go and publish, and you would save and publish mod project, and you would just write something here, because otherwise it won't let you give it a version, give it a name, whatever. You press next, and you would start cooking. And then the rest is again file management. I'm not going to do that now because I don't think it's necessary. But once you save that, you will be able to find it in wherever you decided for your projects to be. Where am I? Projects. So you would find it here. So for the sake of this, I would just save and publish. Next, start cooking. Give it a minute. Oh, 5 seconds. Just don't crash on me, please. What the fuck? Okay, cooking finished. Next, I'm not going to create a mod zip file because I find this to be more confusing than helpful. So because I've already cooked it, I consider this done. I'm not going to press publish Nexus mods. I'm not going to do any of this shit. I'm just going to press finish, and I can close Redkit. And now, yeah, mod Griffin fashion. So because I didn't create a zip file, I need to go into packed mods. Here it is. And what I'll do now is if you plan on uploading your mods, don't don't do this add to archive because it's gonna quarantine it inside Nexus. So what you want to do is send to compressed zipped folder, and there you go. So now when you upload this archive inside your the person downloading it is just going to open this and find this, and they can just directly like go to the game, go to their mods, and just put that in there. And once I put this in here and I open up my Witcher 3, that mesh that I edited is gonna have no shields. And that's it, guys. I can remake this video with better steps, but that's what I wanted to show so far. There's a lot more, obviously, but I'll make another video some other time. Alright, hope that was helpful.